Hello, online crew. I think we're live. Sorry, more technical difficulties. Right, I should be live in the group now as well. Sorry, it was just taking a while to connect there. So let's have a chat today about what's happening in the industry. Another company has gone affiliate model only, which means they've sort of cut off their network marketing component of their business. There's a lot of discussion around it in the industry. There's a lot of upset people in the industry. There's a lot of people that are saying the industry is doomed. So let's have a conversation around this and sort of what you need to consider rationally when these kind of things, happen in the industry. I hope that nobody here watching is part of Beachbody. That's the one that's just made the announcement. If anybody here is from Beachbody, feel you and compassion for you with what's going on in your company. But I think it's something that we need to have a conversation around about what's happening in the industry and your thoughts, around the industry. For anybody that's watching, do you have any strong thoughts about what's happening in the industry? Are you concerned that another company has gone to an affiliate model? Are you solid where you are? What are your thoughts around this kind of movement in the industry? Would love to know your thoughts before we get into it. Just want to share, those of you that are in my coaching community, I just finished a training, which was all about, it was part one of a training to do with passive prospecting and active prospecting. What does it mean? The mindset shifts around it, how you actually do it. It's a really insightful training that can help you speed up the results in your business. So if you're a coaching community member, you need to go and watch that training. The replay is sitting in the coaching community Facebook straight away. Honestly, the training that I provide over there is the difference between people will speed up the results in their business and people that stay stuck. And the training that I did today on active prospecting and passive prospecting, the differences and how you execute them both, and all the rest of it, it's just gold. So yeah, go and watch that training. So if you're here, say hello, let me know you're watching live. We've got Instagram over here, we've got Facebook, YouTube, and my free group over here. Hope you're all doing well. We've got Faye here this morning. Well, it's my morning, it might not be your morning. In Australia, it's a beautiful sunny day where I am. I just love the sun and the warmth. I come alive in summer. Does anybody else, can you resonate with that? When the weather's a little bit warmer and it's just nicer to be outside. That's when I feel like I'm the best. I'm solid where I am. Good to know. Dean, it seems like when a company goes public, things start to go array. The company is now more concerned with its stakeholders than its distributors. Yeah. So let me give you my thoughts on this. Okay, and let's put all this into perspective. And if anyone's watching from my free group and you've left comments, sorry, I can't see those comments while I'm live. It's just the way my software works. So hello to you guys as well. So let's just put it into perspective first. There's roughly about 2,000 network marketing companies out there. Okay, there's probably how many, maybe 4, 5 this year that have gone to an affiliate model. Okay. When you actually look at the numbers and the statistics, it is a very small, incy-bincy part of the industry that is going affiliate model. There have been a few this year. So it's been very loud this year with this, because there's been a few that have done it, this year particularly. Okay. But when you look at any business, let's be fair, you look at any business, there are businesses closing down every day. Now that doesn't I'm not trying to lighten what's happening here, but does that make sense? It's not unusual for businesses in general to have financial troubles. Okay. So for people to go, our industry is got to move away from network marketing. I saw a comment in a group about an hour or a couple of hours ago saying, let's face it, the industry is doomed and whatever. It's come on. Businesses have struggles in all walks of life, correct? Like, it's not just our industry. I'm in a small country town where I live in South Australia. I was just sharing this somewhere yesterday on a training, I think with my team. No, I can't remember. It doesn't matter. Irrelevant. But in the main street of the town that I live in, I see a business go up, and I'll say to my husband, "Oh, not sure how well that one's going to do. I wonder how long it'll last." And like, no kidding, under 12 months. So, like, our main street in our country town is like somebody goes into a space, within a year they're gone. A new business goes into that space, and then they're gone. Like, it happens all the time. So don't think for a minute that our industry isn't immune to, if the heads at the top are not making the right decisions, then they're going to get into financial trouble. Like, is that fair? So I wouldn't take the attitude that the industry is doomed, or, it's so hard to make it work in this industry. It's just business. And it comes down to the decisions that are being sort of made at the top as to, how that business plays out. So in saying that, I think for companies to take off their network marketing part of the component and make it affiliate only is completely unethical. They're cutting off the people that actually made the company probably what it is today. It's the fastest way for a company to cut costs. So what we've kind of experienced since COVID, if you like, is hard times. There's been hard times with sourcing products, distribution, manufacturing, costs escalating, personnel, staffing. There's been so many things for companies to navigate. Like, it's been a troubled time for a lot of industries. So that we know. Now, companies that pivoted really quickly with that are doing fine. There are plenty of companies out there that are solid and doing well, and I hope you're in one of those. Those companies that didn't pivot and make good decisions when costs were increasing and distribution channels got harder, and shipping dramas and all that. Companies that didn't pivot quickly enough are now suffering. Okay, so that's down to sort of the management and ownership of companies. It's not the industry at large. So let's get that clear. There's over 2,000, network marketing companies, and this is a very small percentage. So don't give up on the industry, okay, just because, there's a few that are going like affiliate model. Again, I don't think it's right, though, that they've done that, because they're cutting off the people that have built the business, the leaders that, I just absolutely feel for them. A leader in the industry will be fine. They'll be able to go somewhere else and rebuild. It may not be the same amount of money initially, but somebody who knows what they're doing in this industry, they'll be able to find a new home and they'll be able to rebuild. But they shouldn't have to. Companies that are losing their network marketing component, it's just a way for them to save money the fastest way that they can. Does that make sense? Because that's where their biggest expense is paying out the field. So if they don't have to pay out the field, they'll probably save their company, and that's why they're doing it. So if any company is trying to pitch you that this is the best thing for everyone, they're really hiding the fact that that's their fastest way to get themselves back on track, is to not pay the field. So I don't necessarily agree with it personally, but it doesn't mean to say the whole industry is doomed or in trouble. It just means that some people in management and ownership probably didn't pivot quickly enough with the changing times around there. So if we look at that small number, there are plenty of companies out there that are thriving. They're in momentum, they're moving, they're growing, teams are growing. Like, you've just got to find the right home for you. So here's some things to think about with where you're at and where your company might be at. And I've been through this just recently, so I can speak from experience. There are warning signs. Usually when this happens, the people in those companies kind of like, yeah, I kind of felt something was off, or I knew something was wrong because this was happening and that was happening. When I look back, when that happened to me earlier this year, it was like, yeah, that was actually all happening. And we were being told certain things which you believe in, but when you look at the reality of what was going on, it's like, okay, there were some troubles that we we didn't know. Okay, so things like stock. There's a couple of things to think about with stock. There's one, like the company that I'm in at the moment, we've got a stock issue in Australia, but that's because we sold a month's worth of stock in 3 days. Like, that's a different stock issue. But if your ordinary stock is just suddenly not there, it's on back order, you're being told, okay, it's coming next week, and then it doesn't come next week. And like, there's continuous problems with distribution with different lines of sort of products, that that can definitely be a red flag. If a company is not innovating in any way, so there's nothing new, there's been nothing new for a year or two, there's been no new products, there's been no new markets open, there's like nothing new, there's no innovation in your technology, like there's nothing going on that's kind of new, then that could be a sign that there's struggles happening. Not in all cases. There's just things to think about with where you are, but definitely like stock, no new products, no new innovation, not opening any new markets. Like, it's just it's something sometimes we cannot be prepared for. I certainly wasn't. I was in a company for 6 years almost, and I felt like the rug was pulled underneath me. It was like suddenly, wow, we got to find a new home. It's not a nice place to be in. But just take responsibility for looking at any kind of warning signs if they're there. And you can rebuild. Anybody can rebuild in the industry. But what you want to look for is obviously a home that's solid. New products, new innovation. If they're opening countries, I do believe, though, on the flip side of this, I do believe what happened with my company earlier in the year and the lead up to that is they grew too fast, if that makes sense. So when you open up too many countries all at once, you've got new products every 3 months. Like, there's just so much going on. So this is kind of the flip side. They grew too quickly, employed all these people, all this manufacturing, distribution costs in. Like, do you have any idea how much it costs a company just to put one new product on the market? Like, the research, the development, the manufacturing, the testing, the changing, the marketing, the printing, like it is very expensive for a company to come up with a brand new product. So there's a lot of infrastructure and manufacturing and decisions that need to go into that. So if you're in a company that's bringing out new products every few months, like, imagine the cost that they have to absorb with that. So, that's the flip side of the warning signs, is when things are growing so fast, it might all seem amazing and exciting on the surface, but you can overcapitalize and then get into trouble. Okay. So a couple of different ways to look at it. But what you want to be sort of looking out for is those warning signs. Overall, I don't taint the industry because there's a handful of companies that have done this. It's a reflection on like management and company probably not moving fast enough when there was like things sliding financially. You have to pivot and change in this environment, like any business does, like you do with your business. Any business, we have to pivot and change really quickly, even more so in this day and age than previously. So do you have a solid ground? It's hard for you to know that, maybe. But, I'd be doing my research around that product line, having a think about, has the company brought out any new products, or are they bringing out too many products, too fast? Just, make sure you're doing your research and you're solid, where you are. Aside from all of that, though, like, one of the reasons that I just left, a 40 grand bonus check being paid out, some of it had been paid out, but the remainder was still to be paid out. And I walked away from that to go to another company is because of a lot of the things that I'm talking about. It's solid, it's in momentum, it's growing every year, clean ingredients, all those kind of things, but there's vision, there's mission, there's, all the things to look forward to, there's technology improvements, there's, markets opening, like it's solid. So you got to evaluate that for yourself. Aside from all of that, though, you have to, the message in all of this, aside from everything that I've just mentioned, is do yourself a favor and build your own personal brand and don't rely on the company. The bottom line is you don't own anything in this, in this kind of business model. So you don't own the products, you don't own the distribution, you've got no control over pricing, you don't have control over a lot of the things. So the rug can be pulled from underneath you, and it's awful for that to be happening to people in the industry. But if you've built a solid brand around who you help and what you help people with, you'll be fine. You can find another home. Not that we want, that to happen to any of you, but you could find another home and you could move on and you can recover and you can grow, because you haven't made everything about what you do about the company. Does that make sense? The other thing that I would really highlight here with social media and companies and things like that is absolutely 100% somewhere on the line, even if you're not ready for it right now, but build an email list. An email list is the only thing you own. You don't own your social media. I'm hearing more and more about people's social media accounts, being just gone. It happened to me just a few weeks ago. Do you guys remember that? Like one day I went to post something and then my personal profile was just gone. But I sent out an email to my network saying, this is what's happening. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to go live tomorrow or keep you posted, whatever. And thankfully mine came back. If I can share with you a tip around this, and I know it's a cost, so you have to evaluate whether this is effective for you or not with your budget. But have you heard of like the Meta Verified, the blue tick? If you can at all afford to pay to be verified, I would do that if you have built up a bit of a network and an influence online, because when you've got the blue tick, you can actually get through to somebody, in Facebook or Instagram. Like there's actually, like they give you more support and you can actually connect to a person. Other than that, it's very, very difficult to get any kind of response from anybody. So there is a little bit more protection, and you're less likely, although it happened to me, I did lose my account, but I got it back pretty quickly. So if you're Meta verified, that will help in that process. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that, but if you have a large presence on social media, or you built up a network and you're really reliant on it and you don't have a strong email sort of database or network that you're building up, then you might want to look at the cost of being Meta verified because of the protection if something goes wrong. Okay, that's a decision that you need to make. But more than ever, if you're in, like we all think we're solid, but we don't know at the end of the day, because it's not your business. I thought I was solid in my previous company. I'd been there for 6 years. I wasn't planning to go anywhere, but things changed. They got themselves into trouble. We weren't getting stock. It wasn't showing up, and it was months. We kept getting told a story, and it wasn't being so. And we found out later, I don't want to talk out of school, and you don't need to know what the company was if you're not in the know, but they weren't paying the suppliers, so they couldn't make the stock. So it wasn't a sales issue. It was a financial issue that no one kind of knew about. These things happen. But I've built a brand. I know who I help and what I help them with. I've got more than one brand. I've got different Instagram and TikTok branding around health and women and menopause and weight loss and gut health and all that kind of stuff to here. So here I'm sharing with you, how to build your business on social media and things to be aware of and, those kind of things. So I've got different branding in different places. Oh my gosh. Sorry. My son just walked in the door and I'm live, guys. Hey, Declan, how are you? Drive safely.
Will do.
Okay. Bye. Sorry, it's school holidays here, but my son rides motorbikes and they're about to go on a trip to race motorbikes over the weekend. It's very nerve-wracking for a mum. Anyway, what was I saying? I've completely lost my track. Thanks, boys. Anyway, I've forgotten where I was at, but the importance of, like I was talking about me, my situation, but because I've built a brand and I show up on social media and I help people within my target market with the problems that I serve, I've pivoted and changed companies and done just fine. and will continue to do so. And it's the level of trust that people have with me because of my brand that I've built on different platforms with different branding. It's not the network marketing company that I'm in. Okay. So like you hearing that message about how important, and I'm sure you've heard it over and over and over again. If you want to build on social media, you don't own your social media. It can be pulled from underneath you. You also don't own your company. So don't make everything about your company or everything about your product. It's about you and who you help and what you bring to the table. I was just saying this, in the coaching community training earlier. Like, people will pay attention to you when they think you can help them. All anybody cares about is, will this help me? So when you're talking about a product, what people care about is, will that product help them with something? Or if you're talking about your business opportunity, what they care about is whether the business opportunity is going to help them make money. So here's my mouse again. My mouse makes a regular appearance here. No one cares about my mouse. So I could put up my branding on my, like, all about my mouse and make my whole brand about this amazing mouse. So, like, say this is a health product or something like that. And then something happens with the company and I can no longer sell this thing. But I made everything about how I show up on social media about this thing. So those of you that talk about your company all the time, your company name is in every single, piece of content that you put out there, you're losing the sight of what personal branding is all about. You are the hero because you don't own your social media and you don't own your company. So protect yourself from what is happening in the industry. And I'll go back to what I said at the beginning. Don't think badly of the industry just because this has happened to, Beachbody and other companies this year. It is a very small percentage, of over 2,000 companies out there that they are doing this. And I do think it's a cop-out and I think it's unfair. And I feel for, those people that have just lost their income overnight. So be very careful with, what company that you are in. But even aside from that, even if you think you're solid and you're not, when you build a personal brand and you build an email list, you're in the driver's seat and you won't be affected by these things longer term. Okay, so let's put it all into perspective. Let's not all get negative on the industry, and let's put more protection into place with how you brand yourself online, your social media networks, and somewhere along the line, even if you're not ready for it now, you want to be thinking about email marketing because it's the only thing you own. Okay. Yes, Dean. I should start a shoulder channel. I've talked so much about my dodgy shoulder. I am getting an ultrasound next week, Dean, so we'll see what's going on finally after that. But I'm talking so much about my shoulder and having so much conversations. Like, what you talk about is what you'll have conversations about and what people connect with you with. So, it's a different tangent. Thank you for your comment there, Leonie. So I just hope you get a strong message from that. Don't change your perspective on the industry or think it's, the industry's bad. I'm going to pivot to digital marketing or affiliate marketing only. Like, a lot of people are having that conversation. I do all of it. I do digital marketing. I do affiliate marketing. I do network marketing. I have my own products. So I think it's a very smart move to have multiple streams of income and not rely on one source. If you only have one source of income in network marketing, the fact that you don't own your social media and you don't own the company, you're just given the rights to sell somebody else's stuff. But if something else goes wrong with that distribution network, where are you then? So, I don't necessarily believe people need to build as many income streams as I do. I've got 14, but I know I'm good. I'm solid. It can split your focus, those kind of things. I do a lot of things. I'm very busy, but I'm very organized. You need to be if you're going to have that many streams of income. But I know if one dips, I'm okay with another one. So don't put all your eggs in one basket with just being on social media, just talking about your company or your company's product. Like, that's a dangerous place to be in this industry. Build your personal brand. Build up, your email list when you're ready for that. It is something that you need to think about, and think of other income streams as well. Okay, I just hope this is just food for thought. We don't want everybody thinking negatively about the industry. There's plenty of companies out there doing amazing things. Like I said, the company I'm in has been in momentum for 4 years and still growing. Like, a lot of you would be solid. So keep that belief and keep going. Just protect yourself along the way. Okay? It would be interesting to have a training on the difference in content between social media and email marketing. So do you mean like what you'd put out on social media versus what you would put in an email? Is that what you're talking about, Dean? So a lot of that training is something, you give me something to think about. I mean, there's a lot of training on all of that in the coaching community, but okay, interesting. I'll have a think about how I can address that for you in the coaching community, Dean. All right. Thank you for listening. Food for thought. Go and do your thing. Be confident in the industry. Have absolute posture. Don't lose posture in what you do and how you do it. Just remember at all costs, build your personal brand. Work towards creating an email database because that's the only thing that you own. Okay. What day is it? No, I'll be live tomorrow. So I didn't know whether it was the end of the week or not. No, I will see you same time, same place tomorrow. Catch you then. Bye.